What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Noir Cinematic. My name is Dimond, and as always, before we get started, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you are already a subscriber, thank you. If you've ever been watching a YouTube video and there's an ad for a movie trailer, you always kind of see Rotten Tomatoes rating, and it'll say something along the lines of, oh, certified fresh. So what exactly does it mean to be certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes? I do always keep an open mind when I'm watching any new TV show, any new movie, because at the end of the day, everybody has their own opinion, and I can't allow somebody to tell me, wow, this movie sucked, and I just miss out on it. I've also realized that a lot of people like to say that movies suck or shows suck just to seem different, so that's another reason to not always trust everybody's opinion. Whenever I hear people saying, wow, that was a really good movie, I definitely want to see it more. But when somebody says, wow, I wouldn't even waste my time seeing it, I do go see it keeping an open mind. I never want to set the bar low for a movie because you never know what exactly made it bad for that viewer. Was it the actor? Was it the acting? Was it the storyline? You know that everybody has their own reasons for why they watch certain movies and TV shows, so whoever's opinion, that's really all it is an opinion. Always, always, always make sure that you go watch that movie, watch that TV show, and form your own opinion because you may miss out on something great. You never know. Rotten Tomatoes is one of the biggest film critique websites, and it's pretty much plastered on every single movie. But the breakdown for Rotten Tomatoes is pretty up in the air. They have two different categories for how they decide what this movie is going to be certified as, if it's going to be certified fresh, if it's going to be rotten, and giving it its own little percentage. And I am somebody who always kind of read reviews on movies after I watch a movie because I don't want that review to kind of set the tone for how I view that movie. I want to form my own opinion, then read the critics, and then kind of compare from there because maybe they saw something that I didn't realize and maybe their taste is just trash. That's another thing that I just kind of accepted. The number percentage on a movie is based on how many positive reviews that movie has. If a movie has 60% or more positive reviews, then it's going to have like the little tomato. And if it has less than 60% positive reviews, it's going to have a little splat. Okay, so that's how you kind of tell the difference if you're ever on the Rotten Tomatoes website. In order for a movie to be considered certified fresh, it has to have literally five professional critics reviews. But when they say professional, that means that my opinion on my YouTube channel will not affect if this movie is going to be certified fresh or not. So when they say professional critic, Rotten Tomatoes does have an option for you to go in and apply to be a professional critic, but the criteria is actually kind of excessive. And I'm going to post the link for you to read what the criteria is because to me, like I understand, but it just seems really unrealistic, and it could be its own video just breaking down the criteria to be considered a movie critic for Rotten Tomatoes. Other than the 5 reviews from a professional critic, that movie has to score 75% or higher positive reviews. Not 62, not 63, not even 70, but 75% or higher positive reviews. It will still have the tomato if it's between 60 and 75, but it will not be considered certified fresh if it's below 75. If that movie that was ranked certified fresh ends up dropping below 70% of positive ratings, then it's no longer considered certified fresh. And if it consistently drops and drops and drops, it just might drop all the way down to a splat. So when the Rotten Tomatoes team is looking at these numbers and these reviews and trying to calculate what exactly should this percentage be based on what their professional critics are saying, and all the positive reviews by professional critics are evaluated by the Rotten Tomatoes team, and that's how that number is put together. So say you have 10 critics and they all just have different opinions of it, the team will read every single review and then kind of factor it into like one big review based on the general consensus of the movie. Another side of the Rotten Tomatoes scoring is the audience score. It's what the audience is saying. What is the audience posting on Rotten Tomatoes? What are they sending them? What are they saying to Rotten Tomatoes about this movie? So when it comes down to the audience rating, it's not necessarily based on positive or negative reviews, but how the audience scored this movie on a star scale. If 60% or more of the audiences gave this movie a 3.5 stars or above, then it's going to be having a little red and white popcorn bucket next to it. But if 59% or less of the audience scored it with 3.5 stars, then it's going to have a tipped over green and white bucket. A little small difference, but the colors are still the same. So when it's good, it has either a red tomato or a red popcorn bucket, and when it's bad, it's going to have a green splat or a tipped over green popcorn bucket. Even though those are the reasonable side of the Rotten Tomato ratings, it was their scoring system that I felt was absolutely ridiculous. This system was founded in 1978. 1978. I started to read more into the scoring card, and here are the categories that help you decide what's the letter grade of this movie. The score has 6 different categories. 1, would you buy this movie on DVD? Yes or no? 2, would you rent this movie on DVD? Yes or no? And when I say DVD, that does include Blu-ray. I guess that is something that they did update. Because it probably said, like, would you buy this on VHS? Would you go to Blockbuster and get this movie? But now it's like, you know, would you watch it on DVD or would you get it on Blu-ray? But even then, who is getting stuff on DVD anymore? Baby, we are streaming now. Another thing is, why did you actually come and see this movie? Is it because of the lead actor? Is it because of the lead actress? Is it because of the type of movie? Is it the subject of the movie? Or did you come watch it because of the director? It's just literally those few categories that are based on their scoring system for Rotten Tomatoes. Then you have to give the movie a letter grade between A through F. Then tell them your gender and then tell them your age. And I also feel that this scoring category is pretty biased because I'm a Black woman. Movies that interest me aren't going to interest an older white male. There's a premiere for this new Black film about beautiful Black women and how amazing Black women are. And it's a bunch of older white men or people who, you know, grew up in Jim Crow era who still have opinions. Of course they're gonna rate this movie an F. So does that mean that the movie is automatically an F? No. I just feel that scorecards like this should be given out. If you can't give it out to a whole state, go to a city, go to a big major city. Like if they're gonna do LA, go to different parts of LA. Don't just go to like the cinema side of LA where there's no range in demographics. You have to get a range of demographics to get a full opinion of anything, whether it's movies, foods, restaurants, clothes, anything. You need a broad opinion so that you can say, okay, you know, this works for everybody. Because if I just base the movie opinion off of one demographic of people, a lot of people are going to get deterred from watching this movie, so this movie isn't going to get the support that it deserves. And I just really believe that, you know, drop a set of it at every single theater or even every 2, every 3 movie theaters and get a different type of feel for how is the overall audience. How is this movie ranking in Houston? How is this movie doing in New York? How is this movie doing in New Orleans, in Atlanta, in Detroit? That's the type of stuff that they need to see instead of just saying, well, how did this movie doing at this one premiere that we did with this select group of people? That just continues to prove my point that you can't always base your movie and TV show opinion on others, on what you read online. Do you know how many movies that I loved that people said was awful? So many people had so many ill feelings towards Malignant, and I thought that was one of the best movies of the year because I watch movies differently. Same with different TV shows. A lot of people love the show The Office, and I cannot stand it. Why? Because I have a different opinion of what I like in different TV shows. Like, everything comes into account when it comes down to ranking a movie. So I feel that just basing your movie opinion and your TV show opinion off what Rotten Tomatoes said is ridiculous. That's for any film critic website. There's been so many times that I get on social media and I'm just reading people's opinions of different shows and different movies. And I'm like, did we watch the same movie? Because I don't feel that. And I've seen a lot of people say amazing things about Spider-Man, but I've also seen a handful of people say a bunch of negative stuff about Spider-Man. A lot of people just want different things out of movies, and that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but make sure that you form your own opinion in the meantime. I hope this video kind of put things into perspective of what exactly is Rotten Tomatoes, what does it mean to be certified fresh, what do all these little cute little pictures mean, and so on and so forth. That's gonna be all for today. If you haven't, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you so much to my subscribers. I will be more consistent with posting. So until next time, bye.